Hey everyone, Colin here with Warhammer Station. I'm here to talk to you more about these index cards from Games Workshop that have dropped. There's a lot to cover here, and in this one we're talking about the Dark Angels. Lots of really good units. The last one we did was with Blood Angels, and lots of little things to go through here. You know, Darth Angels have Death Wing and Raven Wing, and then you can do a Green Wing that'll also be really good. But again, these little videos, I'm not going to do a unit by unit thing. I like to do the most notable rules, maybe what you'd see across the table and have to deal with. Now, if you're going to play Dark Angels, what you probably going to put down is going to be the most effective. So yeah, need to apologize. I'm traveling making these videos, so there might be some background noises. I apologize for that. But yeah, let's get into this. It's lots going on here, so we're cut through the shaft and really hone in on what is the most powerful. So first of all, they're still Space Marines, just like the Blood Angels, and they're going to get the Oath of Moment stuff. So we're going to pick one unit and reroll hits and wounds against them. And these guys, outside of having Gilliman to do it twice, I'll be one of the better things that can leverage some of this thing to really destroy some stuff, and we're going to see why. So what they have for their detachment rule is Grim Resolve. When an Adeptus Astartes unit from your army is battle shocked, change the objective control characteristic of models in that unit from 1 instead of 0. So this seems pretty basic. It's not going to be as effective as some other stuff. Remember, the Blood Angels had +1 strength and +1 attack when they charge, but these guys, it can feel kind of lackluster, but at the end of the day, what it means is, whereas you think a battle shocked unit is going to not control an objective or something like that, these guys still are. And what's more, they have a lot of abilities in their interactions and their rules that if they get a bonus if they're battle shocked. And we'll get right into that with the stratagems. And this Unforgiven Fury, if your battle shocked unit gets a bonus for critical hits on a 5+, as in addition to this lethal hits ability. So think about something you almost want to be battle shocked. You're going to really leverage what can be a potentially negative thing. And this is for the whole army. So this can still affect a unit. It's not going to affect the units that's battle shocked, obviously, but it's going to you want to fail this test almost to give your army this huge bonus that's going to come across. And of course, the Dark Angels have the same other ones, Armor of Contempt. They get another one that's a little bit different, Fire Discipline. They get Assault Heavy and Ignores Cover. Fall back and shoot and declare a charge even though they fell back. But here's one that is super powerful that other armies have nothing even close to as far as good stratagems. And it's this Grim Retribution. When your opponent shoots at you just after an enemy unit has shot, your unit can shoot as if it were in your shooting phase, but it must target the enemy unit that just attacked, and can only do so if that enemy unit is an eligible target. So it makes you want to put something out there and have something shot at it. Like, is the marker light going to count as being shot at? Because those Deathwing Knights or Raven Wing Knights with their plasma gun shooting back, you don't want to shoot at these guys, so they're going to pop this stratagem and really nail you with some stuff when you're not expecting it. It also makes you want to take some Devastator squads, some Desolation squads, because if they're shot at, they're going to punish you when they shoot back. It's a really cool stratagem. It's going to nail you really hard if you're not looking for it. So be wary of that. And then of course, the tried and true, subtract 1 damage from the characteristic of attack. Watch out, 1 damage weapons until we get a fact. FAQ, right? So the next one is their enhancements look really good compared to some of the ones that are out there. The Shroud of Heroes. On a 2+, after your hero dies, he can come back to life. That's really, really good, especially if you're using a unit we're going to get into here in just a minute. All these add 1 to the attack, strength, and damage characteristics. Add 2 if there's a battle shock thing. It's going to be really, really good in a clutch moment. And then add 1 to the hit roll. That's cool. You know, if you can only use 1 of these, it's going to be Shroud of Heroes, because stuff is just going to come back, and it's going to be a thorn in your side. You know, you thought you killed that character, bam, he's back. And then there's something that can have Feel No Pain 4+ if it's battle shocked. For this Blade Guard Ancient, Primaris Ancient, or these Terminator Ancients. And that's really good. Having a Feel No Pain 4+. It makes him almost unkillable, it feels like. Azrael, he stands out really well. His Sword of Secrets does something really good. I mean, -4 AP. And remember, Space Marines have a lot of things out there that are going to enhance that AP characteristic. And so I wonder if we can get this guy down to like a -5. That makes a big difference against some of this stuff. But then again, usually stuff that's going to be susceptible high AP with a good armor save is going to have an invulnerable save. I guess maybe you'll come across a Sanguinary Guard or something like that, right? But that's not just, his weapon isn't the best thing about him. It's going to be this Masterful Tactician. It's going to be this Supreme Grand Master that getting sustained hits out of stuff. It's going to be whatever he's in the unit with having a 4+ invulnerable save. And summoning that Watcher in the Dark, if you're facing a bunch of mortal wounds, then having that Feel No Pain 4+ ability is going to be over the top good. And then, I don't know if you can call it a downside per se, but he's only going to join these units. And so it seems like tempting to have a Blade Guard veteran squad, but his line helm's kind of wasted on that, right? So maybe Assault Intercessors to get the most out of that ability, or Infernus Squad, something like that would be really good. Belial is the next really standout epic hero. His sword is pretty decent. His Mastercrafter bolts are not bad. He can deep strike probably with his unit. But what's really good is each time a melee attack is allocated to this model, he's going to reflect it back on a 2+. He'll still take the damage. But every wound that he's going to take is going to put back a mortal wound on whoever hits him. That's seriously good. Seriously good. You want to kill this guy in the shooting phase, not in close combat. But he's going to be so hard to kill with that toughness 5 and a 4+ invul and whatever else he's with in a unit. And that's not to mention that any critical hit. And so remember, if you got that 5 up, there's some precision hits coming in, and it's going to allocate onto those characters and just really do some damage if you don't watch it. And what's really good, he can connect and attach to all of the Terminator and Deathwing squads. Samael, this is our first Ravenwing character. He's really good. He does a thing where if you try and fall back, even if you're not battle shocked, it forces a desperate escape and improves that roll so that, I guess on a 1 to 3, models are just going to go away in that desperate escape. But more than that, why he would be good is He's no slouch in close combat. Master crafted plasma cannon's going to really nail some stuff. And then he can, any unit is eligible to shoot and declare a charge in a turn in which it advanced. So he can attach to Ravenwing Black Knights or Ravenwing Command Squad, and I think a command squad, if it can take these plasma things, is really going to punish some stuff. You know, you load these guys up, and if they're shot at, they're shooting back. Remember, it's going to be kind of tough. His plasma cannon doesn't have hazardous. Strength 8, -3 damage, -3 AP, 2 damage, 36-inch range. That's really good. Ezekiel, I mean, he's on foot. Not much going there. Asmodai. I mean, some of these stuff is good, but this is your green wing stuff, right? And I feel like Dark Angels are going to be this deep striking, just as they've always been. Deep striking Deathwing, really fast in your face Raven Wing. And this Raven Wing Talon Master is going to be really good too. And why is that? If he attaches to a unit, or he's got a bubble, he doesn't attach to a unit. And not only that, if he's around 3 or more mounted or fly units, then he has the lone operative ability, so he's not going to be shot at. Then he gives stuff out, the ignore cover. And what else is this? Once per turn, when an enemy unit ends a normal advance or fall back move within 9-inch, this model is not within engagement range. This model can make a normal move. So he's going to be hard to hit. He's going to be real wily. Maybe he'll bounce in and out of something that he's going to fall back and can't be hit easily in close combat. I mean, this is going to be really good in and around that group of just out there by himself amongst a group of bikes, right? Giving them ignores cover. Lazarus, I really don't know what's up with that guy. Another green wing character. So this is the prime candidate for that enhancement we saw a minute ago. And because he's just a generic character, he's not an epic hero. And he can attach to all the Terminator squads. He could get a whole smattering of weapons that are really good. He's passing out lethal hits. And then he's adding 1 to the wound roll, 1 to the hit roll, and 1 to the wound roll for targets that are below half strength. So, yeah, this guy's really, really good. Can take a storm shield. Has an good invulnerable save. High toughness. Leading these Terminator squad's going to be really powerful. You know, him and Belial side by side, deep striking in, are going to do some serious damage. Be hard to kill, and just really, there's a lot of punishment that's going to come adding these characters in. Deathwing Command Squad. This is one, it looks really good on paper, I think. Especially, I think the best thing about these guys is bringing a model back. And not only that, but you could have 7, 8, 9, 10 models in this Deathwing Command Squad. And then throwing on this Halberd of Caliban with precision on there. You know, it's got a good strength. Got the attacks is why you want to take this, right? And then having plasma cannon on here. All of these guys having storm bolters, rapid fire 2, just pointing out tons of shots at close range. So they're deep striking in. If they get shot at, you know, maybe they pop that stratagem to shoot back. It's going to be a lot of fun. Put that character in there to enhance stuff going on. This could be the candidate. I guess depending on points, but if you want to save some points, Deathwing Terminator is not that bad because you can still put the plasma cannon on there. You can still deck them out with all kinds of close combat weapons that are good. Have that Cyclone missile on there, and you can ignore any modifications to hit rolls. And what is this? Each time a model in this unit makes an attack that targets the enemy unit selected for the start of your command phase for the Oath of Moment, add 1 to the hit roll. So if that Oath of Moment unit shoots at you, pop that stratagem and just really put some punishment back out on them, right? ultra synergistic with these guys. Deathwing Knights, they don't have that ability in the past that double their strength on some of these weapons. I guess where they can come back is having a bunch of attacks that have decent strength, or some devastating wounds on the sergeant, right? But here's where the key thing comes in, is having 3 damage. And then inner circle, whereas before it can only be wounded on a 4+, now it's subtract 1 from the damage characteristic. I'd almost want to say that some of these other Terminators are going to be seen more before these guys. Still really good though. Raven Wing Command Squad, another standout unit. Get some plasma talons on here with some decent amount of shots. So much good opportunity for characters that can join them. What's really good about these guys is all of them have this attached unit. The character from your army with the leader ability can be attached to an Outrider squad. He can be attached to this unit instead. So think back to these Space Marine Codex entries. Librarian on a bike, chaplain on a bike, captain on a bike can be attached to these guys, and stratagems can be used on them. A bunch of different things that are going to be really powerful. This plasma talon combined with this stratagem, it's going to want to not shoot these guys. And then between the command squad and the regular squad, they all have 5+ involts. And look at this, Knights of Caliban, anti-monster, anti-vehicle 4+. It's just going to be crazy what damage these guys can put out. They're going to be dangerous. And then adding in all these other things, Raven Wing Darkshout, Icon of Caliban. Put one of these out there, and it doesn't have any really weapons, so to speak, of that are any good, but you can gain the benefit of cover. These bikes, what are they? They're all toughness 5, 3+ with 5 up involts. Yeah, they're going to have. Throw one of these guys in here. They're going to be tough to kill. Throw the Talon Master in there. They're going to be ignoring cover with all their shots. Overlapping synergies here that are just really cool. The Raven Wing Speeder Vengeance. Now this one, you talk about notable units. Look at this Plasma Storm Battery. Strength 9 overcharge. -3. D3 or 3 damage. And not only that, but once per turn, not once per game or anything like that. In your opponent's shooting phase, when a model unit is destroyed, so if one of your bike units gets swapped out, or that Talon Master, he can't be shot at, but maybe there's something that happens to one of your guys, so that this thing needs to be surrounded by a bunch of stuff. They can use this ability after the attacking unit has finished making this attacks. This model can shoot as if it were in your shooting phase, but when resolving this attack, can only target that enemy unit. So there's so much in this Dark Angels that more than one of these might be something that you want to put out. That if it's behind a unit of bikes or something, and it's not just bikes, it's any Adeptus Astartes, plunk that what is that drop pod down with something in it, maybe as a bait that can kill them, and it has 2 of these behind it, and it's just going to shoot out with this Plasma Storm Battery and do some damage that people weren't expecting. I think there's some decent chances for some gotcha stuff. I think it's easy to overlook some of this aircraft. They have to start off the board. But the only thing that might be slept on ever so slightly is the stasis bomb. And if you roll well enough on a 4, 5, or 6, whatever they hit is remaining stationary. So that's really going to be a force multiplier and throw your opponent off. Whereas that unit that they were thinking is going to move up and do some damage is instead just going to stand there. Or in the worst case scenario for this, can advance or fall back. So, and then you have this something with a rift cannon out there. Look at this, strength 16, D3 plus 1 shots, devastating wounds, minus AP minus 4/3 damage. So this one, don't sleep on this guy, right? Watch out for him. The Nephilim, I don't think it has enough shots or enough special rules on this thing. You know, this is your anti-aircraft killer, but I hope I'm wrong in a sense, but I don't think we're going to see a ton of flying units this round. So last but not least to talk about this is Lionel Johnson. Latest Primarch to come out. The most powerful Primarch by far. And there's so many reasons why he's so powerful. Toughness 9, 10 wounds, 5 up leadership. He moves kind of slow, but that doesn't matter because he has deep strike. He's going to benefit from the Oath of Moment. He's the only one with this 3 up invul save. And that is so powerful. Because not only can he not be shot at if he has if he's outside of 12 inches when he's around some infantry units, but whatever you shoot at him is just going to bounce off. You know, 3+ invul's so hard to get past. And then in melee combat, any save and throw is bouncing mortal wounds back. Any save and throw of a 6, right? And so what else can he do that's going to be really good? He's just going to absolutely beat the crap out of you. You've got these high AP attacks and a ton of them here, right? And so his ability that you can pick from, you know, if you're coming across that mortal wound stuff, 4+ against mortals. The other one here, while a friendly Adeptus starts unit within 6 inches of this model, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, add 1 to the hit roll, that's okay. And then all secrets revealed once per turn. When your opponent targets a unit from the army with a stratagem, but before that stratagem effects are resolved, if that unit is within 12 inches of this model, you gain 1 command point. So you can have this guy, Azrael, gaining command points for you. And then, if that occurs, they have to take a battle shock test. If that test is failed, what is this here? Stratagem effects are not resolved. Wouldn't that be terrible if you fail that battle shock and you're not able to do that? It's going to be pretty devastating. So, I mean, it seems like a little fly through the eye of a needle thing for this to go off, right? But when it does, you're getting a supreme benefit of it, and that you're nullifying a stratagem for somebody. So, I mean, you're going to really have to ponder if you're using the line and you're against an opponent of what stratagems they're going to use, when they're going to use it to be most effective, and hopefully thread the needle on this. And I say that because one of these other ones might be more clutch in the situation, right? Because having him getting, there's a lot of stuff that modifies hits this edition, and him negating that with a add 1 to the hit roll is going to be something that you see the most. And unless this situation comes up where he can potentially nullify. It seems like a big gamble to have a battle shock test be failed and this occur, right? But if that test is failed, that unit's also battle shocked. Yeah. So that's Dark Angels. That's the line. A lot going on here. Let's see what I want to use a dual wing army if it suits me. I want the pressure of those bikes coming up with all of those synergistic things. Remember, it's not just what you see in this sheet, it's also Space Marines. There's a lot of stuff going on with some of their speeders. I think that's some of the best things that could synergize here with a close range shooting army, like with this plasma stuff going on. And we're not locked into that. There's a lot of the tanks that you could use that, if you're a green wing, you're wanting to jump out and do. But depending on points, Lionel Johnson, seeing what he's capable of and doing, is going to be really powerful. He's bar none the best Primarch model there is. And it's because of that 3+ invult save. It's because of putting wounds back. It's because of not being able to be shot at till he gets in your face. So yeah, watch out for the Dark Angels out there. Hey, thanks for watching this video. Lots of stuff going on with Warhammer Station. I hope you can engage with us on the community. We've got a Discord out there. We have lots of stuff growing and going on out there. Thanks for listening, y'all. Tune in to the next video.